Top stories for today consist of EA pushing back Battlefield 5's release another month, as well as Pokemon fan game creation tool being taken down by Nintendo, and also we're talking about EA donating $1 million for what happened at the Madden tournament attack. All this on today's News You Miss, a recap of what happened this week, and major stories that came out that you definitely wouldn't want to miss because they might affect the video game industry at large. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I had a sponsor for today's video, but they didn't pay me in money. They paid me in Pokemon memorabilia. You guys won't believe this. Wicked Cool Toys has a new Pokemon line coming out with awesome figurines, awesome stuffies and stuff like that, and they sent me Pokemon stuff. How fitting for what I'm wearing today. So I'm going to go ahead and go down the line with some of the stuff they sent me. I didn't open it all so you can see exactly what it is. They have these cool little action figure toys, so if you're looking to battle some Pokemon more in real life other than Pokemon Go, you have the option there. These are some pretty cool toys. As you saw, the aforementioned smaller sizes are a little bit smaller, and then you have the medium-sized toys here, a Beware, a Lapras with some surfing action, which is really, really cool. And then we're moving into the extra-large legendary Pokemon type of thing. I always thought legendary Pokemon should be larger than life, and these definitely conform to that notion. This one comes with a stand, and it looks absolutely stunning. And finally, as aforementioned, it's not just all toys and action figures and figurines. We also have a Mimikyu toy, which is a really, really nice stuffy. It's pretty big, pretty large, as well as Pikachu, but this one comes with a special feature. That's right, it's a light-up interactive Pikachu. Wicked Cool Toys sent me these, and they're very, very nice. So I'll leave information in the description below for them. Now, one of the biggest stories that have come out is that Nintendo has been cracking down on a lot of stuff, and a Pokemon fan game creation tool has disappeared due to this crackdown. Now, this is very, very unfortunate due to the simple fact that it prevents people from creating their own Pokemon games. Now, you might be saying to yourself, well, that's pretty crazy. How can you claim copyright infringement if technically the Pokemon company does not have every single thing in Pokemon or the games or the audio or anything like that trademarked or copyrighted? It's just Pokemon itself and the concept itself that's trademarked. Well, essentially what ended up happening is that, ironically, Pokemon Essentials is the thing that was taken down. Now, this is a tool that's very, very similar to RPG Maker XP, which allows you to use a bunch of Pokemon assets to put together a very, very unique game. And, unfortunately, with Nintendo being hot on the heels for DMCAing tons of unique and interesting Pokemon games, ROMs, websites, and things like that, this has fallen prey to that too. This tool would allow someone with little to no programming experience to copy and paste, click here, move things there, and with a simple tutorial, you could have your own fully fledged working Pokemon game up and running. This is how games like Pokemon Uranium were able to be constructed pretty well. And without the Pokemon Essentials pack, as stated in this article, it might have been impossible to make Uranium. But then again, I'm not really sure because where there's a will, there's a way. So ROM hacking's still a thing. Even without this specific tool, there's likely going to be a bunch of hacked Pokemon games. And again, out on the deep web and undercover websites, pirating websites, and file sharing websites, I mean, these ROMs are still going to be floating around. But with Nintendo cracking down on this stuff, it's going to be a little bit different. I don't think we're going to get the high quality hacks and the unique games that we were once able to get because they don't want them out. They don't want them competing with the new games coming up, which is Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee. I think they see it as competition for the simple fact that they need people to go out and buy Nintendo Switches and get those sales up. And in the end, I just don't see why, because Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee are so radically different from traditional Pokemon formula. It's pretty crazy, especially with the capture mechanics and the no wild battle thing. That's something a lot of people like to go to for these custom ROM hacks and things like that. So it's pretty wild to see that Nintendo is DMCAing this tool to prevent people from making unique Pokemon games. But once again, those unique Pokemon games are pretty limited. They're not full 3D in-depth game like Pokemon Coliseum or anything. They're just, well, they're very similar to Pokemon Generation 4 and above, where it looks like a 32-bit kind of flat-paneled, grid-based type Pokemon game. And there's nothing wrong with that. A lot of people love those. So there you go. That's a massive story that came out, which is very, very unfortunate and a big hitter for us Pokemon fans. Moving over, we have things like Battlefield 5 being delayed from Call of Duty and Red Dead 2. Gee, I really wonder why Battlefield 5 would be delayed. That's the PR statement. Let's see, which excuse should we use? Yes, we're putting the finishing touches on the game. That's what they said. They're trying to put the final adjustments to the core gameplay. It has nothing to do with the fact that Battlefield 5 has 85% less pre-orders, or is failing horribly, or has an awful controversy about it, or tons of other stuff going on with it. Nope, nothing at all. No, it has nothing to do with the fact that after a month, people kind of get tired of the games that they bought, and they often go into buying a new game, hence why they waited a month. Well, anyways, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. So you're going to have to wait until November 20th to get Battlefield 5. If that's something for you, I mean, Black Ops 4 and Red Dead Redemption 2 are going to be releasing in October, I guess. And then, you can wait for Battlefield 5, which is November 20th. EA donates $1 million to the families of the Jacksonville shooting victims. Now, this sounds better than what it actually is, but again, a company donating millions of dollars because of an absolute horrendous attack that occurred during a Madden tournament, that's really nice too. But what ended up happening is that there's a foundation that's being created, and which it's a tribute. It's a Jacksonville tribute, and apparently it's designed to support the families and the victims of the Taylor Robinson and Eli Clayton and all of those affected, which the companies have made $1 million donation to. I guess those people are going to be able to get some type of support, which likely would be a lot of mental health, a lot of psychiatric, a lot of emotional trauma, mental stabilization, a lot of things in therapy related. They might be given stipends for their homes, things like that, to unfortunately replace the loved ones that they have lost. It's very, very sad when a shooting does occur in my country, even though they occur quite frequently. A lot of people are still debating on how you could have prevented this, and once again, I have to say with a very callous attitude that you can't prevent things like this. When a person is free and in a country, they're going to do what they're going to do. If we literally had no guns and every single gun was melted, guns would be smuggled in from other countries. If we had no way of smuggling guns in, there would be knives, there would be bombs. There's not ever going to be a way to stop someone from doing very, very negative actions. This is the world we live in, and if you want freedom, you have to take that risk with it and hopefully be able to defend yourself. Otherwise, you're going to end up living in a police state where every single conversation is monitored. And even then, that doesn't necessarily stop every single attack from happening, because people can just go out on a limb and do things without very little explanation to it. I mean, some of these attacks, the things that they recover from the person are very minimal at best sometimes. So I'm sorry. I'm sorry for those who lost people. I'm sorry for those who suffered from an attack. And it's nice that EA is giving $1 million for this tribute, but it's just ridiculous to see people arguing over whether or not we could have prevented it. You can't prevent anything at the end of the day. A lot of the time, if somebody wants to do something, they're going to attempt to do it, and it's just about how you react in that situation. So, yeah, very depressing, very sad, but also uplifting at the same time that these families are actually getting support from the company that these attacks kind of took place against. I mean, Madden's an EA kind of title, so, it's almost the same. Still nice that EA is doing something. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, that's been the news for this week. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of the news you missed. If you did, make sure to leave me a big thumbs up. If you didn't, you can leave me a thumbs down and tell me what I can do better in the future. And you can always subscribe. I'm on the road to 1 million subscribers, and it starts with you, ladies and gentlemen. So help build that community. We're going to rise up Mavericks. We're going to rebel against the status quo, and you don't need to get your news from the mainstream networks. You can come to me, and we can come together and formulate a comprehensive opinion. Now, I've been your host, Protomario, and I'm signing out. As always, good gaming, God bless, and thanks for taking the time out to watch this video. I'll let the end card slate take it away, and maybe you'll see something you want to watch there.